Welcome, true crime enthusiasts, to another gripping episode. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're delving into a case that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about online identities and obsession. Settle in for the next 30 minutes as we unravel the mysterious and haunting story of the Meadows murder case. Our tale begins in the autumn of 2012, in the heart of Oakville, a mid-sized city in the Midwest. Picture a quaint neighborhood with tree-lined streets where leaves of gold and crimson dance in the crisp air. It's here we meet our first character, Jack. A ruggedly handsome man in his mid-30s, stands 6'2", with broad shoulders and kind hazel eyes that crinkle when he smiles. A divorced father of two, Jack works as a mechanic, his calloused hands a testament to his dedication to his craft. Despite the hardships of his past, Jack maintains an optimistic outlook on life and love. On the morning of November 13th, 2021, Jack bids farewell to his new girlfriend, Sarah, as he heads off to work. Little does he know that this ordinary Tuesday will mark the beginning of a nightmare that will haunt him for years to come. Sarah, our second key player, is a vibrant single mother in her early 40s, standing at 5'7", with flowing auburn hair and sparkling green eyes. Sarah's contagious laugh and warm personality draw people to her like moths to a flame. A web developer by trade, Sarah balances her career with raising her teenage son, Tommy. As Jack's truck disappears around the corner, Sarah remains at his home, planning to leave for her own place in Pinewood, a small town about 40 miles away. Later that day, the drive between Oakville and Pinewood had become a familiar route for Sarah over the past few weeks as her relationship with Jack blossomed. But Sarah never makes it home. 3 days later, in Pinewood, we meet Margaret, Sarah's mother, a petite woman in her 60s with silver hair and worry lines etched deep into her face. Margaret's hands shake as she dials the local police station. Her voice trembles as she reports her daughter missing, explaining that Sarah failed to pick up Tommy from school, something entirely out of character for the devoted mother. As Margaret speaks to the authorities, her mind races through possible scenarios. Could Sarah have had car trouble? Did she get into an accident on the long stretch of highway between Oakville and Pinewood? Or was there a more sinister explanation for her daughter's sudden disappearance? Little does Margaret know that miles away in Oakville, Jack is about to receive the first in a series of disturbing messages that will turn his life upside down. It starts with a simple text. "I've decided to move in with you. I'll be there tonight with my things." Jack, confused and a bit taken aback, responds that he's not ready for such a big step. They've only been dating for a few weeks after all. What follows is a barrage of increasingly angry and threatening messages, all purportedly from Sarah. As days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the harassment escalates to nightmarish proportions. Jack changes his phone number, his email address, even moves to a new apartment, but the messages keep coming. The sender, still claiming to be Sarah, seems to know his every move, his every thought. But Jack isn't the only target of this digital stalker's wrath. Enter our next character, Rachel, known to her friends as Rose. Rose is a striking blonde in her early 30s, standing at 5'9", with piercing blue eyes and a mysterious air about her. A nurse by profession, Rose exudes confidence and charm, turning heads wherever she goes. She had also been seeing Jack around the time he met Sarah, creating a complex web of relationships that would soon unravel in the most unexpected ways. As the threatening messages continue, Rose finds herself caught in the crossfire. She, too, becomes a target of the digital harasser, receiving vicious texts and emails accusing her of stealing Jack away from Sarah. The intensity of the messages leaves both Jack and Rose living in constant fear, looking over their shoulders at every turn. The situation reaches a boiling point in August 2013, nearly 2 years after Sarah's disappearance. On a sweltering summer night, Rose's home erupts in flames. The acrid smell of smoke filling the air as neighbors rush to call 911. In the chaos, Rose manages to escape, but her 4 beloved pets perish in the inferno. As firefighters battle the blaze, Jack and Rose receive chilling emails, supposedly from Sarah, taking credit for the arson. The message is clear: this digital phantom will stop at nothing to torment them. It's now 2015, and we find ourselves in the bustling offices of the County Sheriff's Department in Oakville. Here, we meet our next key player, Detective Mike Thompson. Mike is a seasoned detective in his late 40s, with salt and pepper hair and sharp, observant eyes that miss nothing. Standing at 6 feet even, with a sturdy build honed by years on the force, Mike exudes an aura of quiet determination. His colleagues know him as a man who never gives up, especially when it comes to cold cases. As Mike pores over the case files related to Sarah's disappearance and the subsequent harassment, he can't shake the feeling that something isn't adding up. The sheer volume of messages sent over the past 3 years is staggering, and the stalker's ability to evade detection seems almost superhuman. Joining Mike in his investigation is Detective Chris Baker, a young and tech-savvy investigator with a knack for spotting digital breadcrumbs. Chris, in his early 30s, stands at 5'10", with a lean build and quick darting eyes that are always scanning for the next clue. His unruly mop of dark hair and perpetual 5 o'clock shadow give him a slightly disheveled appearance, but his mind is as sharp as they come. Together, Mike and Chris decide it's time to bring in the big guns. Enter Dr. Alan Foster, a brilliant digital forensics administrator with the State Division of Criminal Investigation. Alan is the epitome of the absent-minded professor stereotype. In his mid-40s, with wild graying hair and thick-rimmed glasses perpetually perched on the end of his nose, Alan's appearance belies his razor-sharp intellect. His office is a chaotic mess of computer parts, hard drives, and post-it notes covered in complex algorithms, but in this digital labyrinth, Alan is king. As the team begins to dig into the mountain of digital evidence, Alan's expertise proves invaluable. Using sophisticated software and his own custom-built programs, he starts to unravel the complex web of IP addresses, proxy servers, and spoofed locations used by the stalker. It's during this painstaking process that the team makes their first shocking discovery. Alan, his eyes wide with disbelief, turns to Mike and Chris. "You're not going to believe this," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. But all signs point to Rose as our person of interest. The revelation sends shockwaves through the investigation. Rose, who had portrayed herself as a victim alongside Jack, now emerges as the prime suspect in both Sarah's disappearance and the subsequent campaign of harassment. But proving it won't be easy. Between 2012 and 2015, Rose had become increasingly sophisticated in covering her digital tracks. She used a variety of tools and techniques to mask her online activities, making it nearly impossible to trace the threatening messages back to her. Alan explains to Mike and Chris the intricate methods Rose employed. She was using websites that allowed her to schedule emails and text messages in advance, he says, his hands moving animatedly as he speaks. She could set up messages to be sent when she was with Jack, creating the perfect alibi. As the team digs deeper, they uncover more disturbing evidence. Traces of Sarah's blood are found in Rose's car, and a search of her home reveals some of Sarah's personal belongings. Most chilling of all, they discover a camcorder with footage of Sarah discussing her vandalized car, time-stamped just 48 hours before her disappearance. But just as the investigators think they're closing in, the case takes another bizarre turn. In December 2015, Rose herself becomes the victim of a shooting. Picture a cold, overcast day in Oakville. The air is thick with tension as police respond to a frantic 911 call. They arrive to find Rose, her face pale and drawn, clutching her leg as blood seeps through her fingers. Through tears and gasps of pain, she spins a tale that leaves the officers stunned. Rose claims that her assailant was none other than Emily, Jack's ex-wife. She weaves an intricate story, alleging that Emily had stolen Jack's gun and was the true mastermind behind Sarah's disappearance and the years of harassment. It's a performance worthy of an Oscar, delivered with such conviction that it momentarily throws the entire investigation into disarray. But our astute team of investigators isn't so easily fooled. As they dig into Rose's claims, inconsistencies begin to emerge. The trajectory of the bullet, the lack of gunshot residue on Emily's hands, the convenient timing of the incident. It all points to one conclusion. Rose had shot herself in a desperate attempt to divert suspicion. As the net closes in around Rose, the team makes a crucial breakthrough. Jack, in an effort to help the investigation, provides them with an old tablet he had owned since he began dating both Sarah and Rose 5 years earlier. Alan, his eyes gleaming with the thrill of the hunt, discovers a memory card within the tablet that had once resided in Rose's smartphone. As he meticulously scans through thousands of thumbnails, he stumbles upon an image that sends chills down his spine. A human foot bearing a distinctive tattoo. The Chinese character for mother, inked delicately on the arch of the foot, proves to be the final piece of the puzzle. Margaret, Sarah's mother, confirms through tears that her daughter had such a tattoo, a matching one to her own. A medical examiner's analysis leaves no doubt. The foot in the photograph belongs to the deceased Sarah Meadows. With this damning evidence in hand, the authorities move to arrest Rose. The scene is tense as officers surround her home, their voices firm as they call for her to surrender. Rose, realizing the game is up, emerges with her hands raised, her face a mask of defiance, even in defeat. As Rose is led away in handcuffs, the full extent of her obsession and the elaborate nature of her deception begin to come to light. For years, she had masterfully juggled multiple identities, weaving a complex web of lies that ensnared not only Jack and Sarah, but an entire community. The case finally comes to its dramatic conclusion in a courtroom presided over by Judge Robert Stern. Picture a solemn courtroom, heavy with the weight of years of deception and loss. Judge Stern, a stern-faced man with graying hair and piercing eyes that seem to look right through Rose, delivers the verdict that will bring this tragic story to a close. Sarah Meadows, he intones, his voice echoing in the hushed courtroom, did not voluntarily disappear and drop off the face of the earth. Very sadly, she was murdered. With these words, he finds Rose guilty of first-degree murder. As Rose is led away to begin her life sentence, the impact of the case reverberates far beyond the courtroom. Detective Thompson and his team have not only brought justice for Sarah, but have also restored her reputation, clearing her name from years of false accusations and harassment. For Margaret, Sarah's mother, the verdict brings a bittersweet closure. While nothing can bring her daughter back, she can at least find some solace in knowing that the truth has finally come to light. Jack, too, finds a measure of peace, though the scars of his ordeal will likely never fully heal. The years of constant fear and suspicion have taken their toll, but with the truth revealed, he can begin to rebuild his life. As we conclude our journey through this gripping tale, we're left to ponder the dark depths of human obsession and the power of digital forensics in solving modern crimes. The Meadows murder case stands as a testament to the relentless pursuit of truth and justice in the face of elaborate deception. It serves as a chilling reminder of the potential dangers lurking in our increasingly digital world, where identities can be stolen, manipulated, and weaponized with frightening ease. But it also highlights the incredible advancements in digital forensics that allow investigators to unravel even the most complex webs of deceit. As we sign off, dear viewers, we encourage you to remain vigilant in your online interactions and to never underestimate the importance of digital security. The truth may sometimes hide in the shadows of the internet, but as this case proves, it always finds a way to surface. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling exploration of true crime. If you found this story as captivating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, we are reminding you to stay safe, stay informed, and always question what you see online. Good night and sweet dreams, if you can have them after this chilling tale.